Casey talked about it. You got something going on with Aqua Traction. Tell us.
Yeah, so we took on a dealership down here in upstate New York. My twin brother Ethan and I have been in small business, in addition to our teaching. So, these last 2 seasons, I've had the actual Aqua Traction floor in my boat, my Ranger 621, and I'm telling you what, there's no substitute, for the precision, for its durability, its comfort, and, for us being on the water 180 days a year, not only charter fishing, but also competing, it's just been an asset to the program. And so we continue to try to find the best product that we can control, and that's one of them we could. And, we talked to Nick over in Ohio, and he kind of put us onto a program here, and so we're doing some boats in the area already. It's gone fairly quickly. So I actually got 2 approval drawings this morning on a couple of boats that we did last week. So it's fast and furious, but for a fishing guy, or gal, or somebody who wants to get into, a floor Aqua Traction, again, AquaTraction.com, they can look up the different patterns. We can customize your logo. We can put color schemes together. And so the cool thing about it is it's very custom to your boat. So it's, it takes that idea of maybe I don't have enough money to buy the new boat this year, but I like to upgrade what I currently have, and in today's economy, what a better way to do it than to, put some durable floor in your boat. So yeah, Aqua Traction has been great. A lot of big players on the circuit. I just saw a new one from Johnny Hoyer on the National Walleye Tour. He's a big fisherman in our group, and he's got a brand new 621 with a 400 and Aftech put together an unbelievable program for him this year. And his boat looks just spotless. So Aqua Traction, again, a big sponsor, Max Wilson, and also a couple of their guys on tour. So look for us on the NWT in 2024.
And if all goes right, you can look for him on the Dirty Goose fleet.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Doing all 4 boats and the Robalo with it. I met with Craig. He came up. It's pretty neat, the whole process. We're working it. Next couple of days, we'll have some answers and where we're going with it. But I'm sold on it. It's I've stepped on it here at the show. I've got to see it, and I've seen it. A friend of mine has it. He's been using it in Michigan for 2 years now, and I like it. I think the durability, the cleanliness, the easiness to keep the boat clean. It's sharp looking. It adds to the boat. It's going to protect your boat along with, looking good, feeling good. It's a no-brainer. So I'm going to, the fleet is hopefully going to be taken care of this spring. Going to be 5 boats.
There's not going to be anything left in the warehouse after you see it.
Listen, I'm sold. I'm going to be honest.
The right guy, the right timing. But at the same time, we know how hard, Casey fishes and his, track of success over these last few years. I mean, he's the Lake Ontario king right now.
Oh, I'm just the guy who likes to fish.
That's what he tells everybody. But man, it's the proof's in the pudding.
No crown, just a regular hat. See that?
Hey, Burger King's open.
Yeah,
So, but no, we can't wait to get it in there, and we're going to work really hard to push it in this area to the guys that are really in need of an answer for that, that non-slip and that durability. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing everybody here at the show too. Another great venue, another great sellout crowd for your salmon school. We got just word that we got over 100 in our walleye school this year. So
it's awesome.
Looking forward to seeing everybody and preaching the good word of fishing. I mean, we're happy to be kind of back in our seasonal, track and mindset that, man, we better get rolling because
I think when we all get together here at this show, it's when it really hits that, man, not that long we're gonna be on the water. I mean, granted this year I'm on the water.
Sure we are.
It's been a no winter, but normally it's another couple weeks and I'm starting brown trout fishing, and this is like a big wake up, like, boy, it's time to get stuff ready. And you see all the new custom baits out, and you stock up on some of the stuff that you need, that you walk down the aisles and you see the different vendors here and you're like, wow, I need some of that. I forgot I needed them. And next thing you know, you're buying the right stuff and you're catching the right products.
Definitely a one-stop shop. For sure.
We got the salmon school, we got the walleye school here, and we talk a lot about education and making anglers better and just teaching people. But I think the big thing, and it's something that we talk about a lot at Fish Hawk, is just growing the sport. And if you guys do what you do in these schools and teach these people to be more successful, when they take out their friends, they're going to be just more knowledgeable and just better able to teach and grow that sport and get more people in it. And I think it's really important to do that when you look around in the room and see people and you're like, it's nice to see some young people, but we need some more.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, I mean, it's changed a little bit, but me and Jackie years ago talked about it. Like, there wasn't a lot of young guys charter captains. There's a lot of old guys like Pete. Mm-hmm. He's old. Yeah. He wears it well, but he's old. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Here we go.
You have that. I mean, Bob Songen, another old boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He yells a lot. He's old.
Yeah.
You got there's a lot of younger guys now, but there wasn't there for a little while.
Mhm.
But the whole idea of any school or even a charter is my goal is show people that fishing can be fun. And like you said, if they go out and they have better success, they may take that guy that's not an angler and make him an angler or have him spark an interest in it and to grow the sport. And I think that's the overall goal of shows like this and of the schools. And when I do my daily report, I want to see people do better on the water, whether it's on my boat or somebody else's boat. Sorry, I touched that. Trevor, you were right. But that's what the goal is, to make people a better angler and have a better time on the water. And in return, you see the sport grow. And that's really what you need.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity this last summer to partner with Catching Dreams with Ned Librock over here.
I just heard
And
about him. That's,
you know,
that's an awesome thing.
what an unbelievable program, you know, living through the life of the cancer treatments, and my mom, you know, my late mother, you know, this last June who passed, and what a give back not only for me, you know, to move forward with that, but also the smiles, you know, and these young kids having an opportunity to catch a panfish,
Mhm.
a perch, you know, once in a while a good walleye or a bass, and to see them in that day that we spend on the water with those younger minds and those younger kids. I mean, I've got parents saying, "Hey, can we just go again?" You know,
It's beyond rewarding.
it's beyond rewarding.
Yeah, we
you
do a
know.
Cops for Cause event, same thing. And
So these little
Wow.
tokens of give back and this, you know, trying to light that fire. I'm looking over here at a young bunch of kids looking through all the different colored plastics and picking out bubblegum Senkos, and you know that's the fire that we all had as a young fisherman or fisher person, and you know to see that in them is just, you know, driving us to, I think, to continue to try to grow this
bass and
you know?
bluegill, the gateway drug
True.
to fishing.
It is
Mhm.
it is the gateway.
Where we all start.
I think it's a good
You
post
know?
on that somewhere.
So you handed me this when you showed up here. I hear you're going back in 2024
Yeah,
in the NWT.
they invited us back for one more year.
Yeah.
Been a lot of rule changes. You know, obviously there's been some different things happening on the national level that may have or may not have been uncovered this last few seasons. So we've got this new rule of no party fishing. Green Bay, I'm reading now, is only 3 fish limits for the NWT crew, which means once you put your third fish in the live well, you're done fishing. So whether that's at 9 a.m. or 3 p.m., whenever you got to be there,
Mhm.
that's going to change a mindset, you know, this year.
Oh yeah,
Same
you're
thing's
gonna get bit by that. Somebody's getting bit by that.
a lot of us are going to get bit by that. You know?
I've been bit by that before.
So-
You're thinking you're gonna get a certain size fish, and if you had that one fish that you threw back, it moves you 10 spots up, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Same thing happening out in Red Wing, Minnesota. It's a 4 fish limit,
Mhm.
1 fish over 20 inches. So there's going to be a slot limit there. Once you get your 4, you're done.
A lot of strategies.
So a lot of strategy there. And, you know, we've got Lake Erie on the map, which is, you know, hopefully kind of my backyard of things over in Port Clinton.
Mhm.
Have a little bit of knowledge there. But again, that's a culling event. So you've got a mix this year of schedule. You got a mix this year of some opportunities to fish some different bodies of water. And the last one on the stop before the championship, if you can make that top 40, is Lake Sakakawea out in North Dakota.
Say that fast.
Yeah, Sakakawea and you know, his friend.
Mhm.
But long story short, all of that, you know, what we really have is, you know, a very diverse, you know, angling method. You know, guys are saying, well, what are you going to bring to Mississippi? Well, if you don't have a willowcat, you might as well go home. Willowcats are $20 a dozen.
Mhm.
You know, if you want a farm raised versus a natural cod, you've got to have that prep, because when 130 boats show up, how many willowcats are going to?
What's a willowcat?
It's almost if you could replicate a baby catfish. So it's got a stinger on both sides and on its dorsal, and I'm telling you
Are
what,
they alive?
it's a strike of lightning when you get hit by that sucker.
They're alive?
They are alive.
So live bait,
Live bait.
willowcats.
Willowcats, yep.
Walleye fishermen.
I know.
Weird.
Right?
Weirdos.
Right? Little cut bait and a flasher. It's pretty,
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
pretty
so at
fun.
least it's real.
So,
They ain't stinging me.
I think Soko makes a non-real one.
Yeah, willowcats.
So So as a angler though, like that's a really diverse group of water, and it
Sure is.
creates, you need a really diverse set of skills, because those pieces of water all fish very, very differently. And then you throw in all the strategy stuff. But for a guy like you who lives on the far east end of where that is, because you see the guys on this NWT, a lot of them live in Illinois, a lot of them live in Wisconsin, because it's centrally located. You're on this east end, it's really hard for you, I think, to get to some of these places, especially since you're a real working guy, so you
Right.
can't go there 2 weeks ahead of time and fish it. Tell me a little bit about those challenges. And
Yeah,
how you
that's
get
a
through
huge challenge. And I, with active target and forward facing sonar and seeing what these guys have done with it, I've had to sharpen my skill set. So using the Finger Lakes in my backyard has been very helpful. Having Oneida Lake, just an hour away to do a little more rod and hand combat. But, we're starting to do a lot more rod and hand combat out here on Lake Erie on this end. And, kind of once we open our eyes to what could really potentially be here, we're going to see a lot more guys, even on the Great Lakes, this big body of water, breaking it down in small sections and using that skill set. So, yeah, it's tough. It's, growing up in the walleye world here, we're trollers. We troll worm harnesses, we troll dipsies, we troll lead core, we troll wire,
cats.
and a lot of those planer cats.
Planer cats.
Cat,
right?
Thunder cats. Yeah. So my willow cats.
Willowcat.
So-
Damn it, Willowcat. Thunder up your arm once it stings.
But, having just the right equipment, taking my jig program and my trolling program and my box of tricks to all these places to figure out what's going to be best suited for my skill and ability, plus my confidence level. Knowing you've got to go in there and put a box together, and have those chances of maybe not catching your limit or maybe being short by putting a fish back. So I think it's trained me well to be around in this area because there's some tougher fishing around here compared to some of that Midwest stuff. But then again, those areas are just, pristine and world renowned, and just to get a chance to go out and compete at that level again, I think is what excites me the most because I'm going to earn it, every bit of it. Nothing's going to be handed to us again, and having a full-time job and trying to sneak away a few days here and there in the spring before we can get to that little summer vacation, is challenging all itself with family and friends and commitments. So, but we're going to give it a shot, and we're looking forward to it.
Where's the championship this year?
It's going to be Oscoda, Michigan, out on Lake Huron. So it's going to be just off of Saginaw. And, that's a place that they've changed the rule again. 30 days prior to the championship, no information, and we can only get 5 days of practice. So if you make that top 40, it's going to be a top 40 run and gun, and whoever figures that body of water out in 5 days is probably going to be end up being the champion.
I like that.
I think it's going more to that bass style rule of limited practice when the guys come up to, up to the Thousand Island, excuse me, I'm thinking to myself, Clayton, right?
Yep.
And they fish there. They get 2 days if it gets shortened from the previous.
Those weather.
So 2 or 3 days, and the best guy wins. The guys that figure out. So it's going to take a challenge, or the challenge going to be, can you figure it out on the day of the event? A lot of times, because what you had on Wednesday is what you're going to have on Friday. And so I think that's going to be a big, thinking process too. Is waypoints mean nothing, conditions.
Average
clarity,
conditions.
and that's what I think is a good charter captain or a good tournament fisherman does is they go out there and they fish the day.
Figure it out.
And I'm challenging myself. Last year we fished the North Shore at a little fall brawl tournament, or I should say fall frenzy with Scotty Meisner up on the North Shore, and sure as can be, no practice, show up. I said no trolling rods, and we ended up third place and big fish of the tournament, fishing the day.
Wow.
So those types of things, you got to challenge yourself to go and think that in that format. So I think we're ready for it. I'm ready for the challenge.
Tell me about this party fishing rule that changed. What happened there?
So, in reading into this further, and again, I'm going to get caught up as we start to get close to the season, but, there's certain states and certain zones and counties and bodies of water that have, 2 people fishing. One guy catches his 3 fish, he's done fishing for the day. So, the rule is if we can bring 5 fish back, does the pro have to catch his 3? And then does the co have to catch their 2? So once I caught my 3 and put them in the live ball, do I sit back and eat Cracker Jacks and figure out the rest of my day while he's trying to catch his 2? Or was it set the hook for the pro angler, hand over a rod and say, well, you reeled that one in, you advanced the reel, that's now your fish, we're good to go. So there's just too much gray matter, I think, and they're really trying to sort that out. And that's going to be an interesting part of the game, I think.
Cool.
What new? Right?
Casey at a table, and there's too much gray matter.
I'm just trying to find some of these Willowcats. I'm really intrigued by them. I'm going to ask the guy with the fish tank down there if he can put some Willowcats in a connector.
Yeah, why don't you grab those?
Willowcat.
You can catch me some up there.
Where do you get them?
Got to go to the Mississippi.
That's where they're in the Mississippi?
Mississippi River.
So where you're going, Craig? I live 20 minutes from you.
Okay.
I'm just up the road from Red Wing. So
Well, maybe
Don't
we'll come
tell
see
me.
it.
I'll see if I can
Snag some Willowcat. Please do.
So is a Willowcat like a stone cat?
No, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit larger in size. So probably talking about 3 to 3.5 inches.
Yeah.
And literally, if you were to put it next to a baby bullhead, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, so we call them stone cats in the Delaware.
Okay.
We used to take a rock and hit the rock on top of it, and it would
There you go.
on them. And that's what we use. We catch smallmouth
So
and walleye on.
Midwestern stone cats.
Okay.
There you go. Craig, anything
Good
else
stuff.
you wanted to talk about while you had a chance here to sit with us?
Just kind of going back to the whole education piece, working through a lot of the seminars that are here, take advantage. So the guys that are going to be out here, the weather doesn't look great for open water fishing, and we definitely don't have any ice. So if a guy can take advantage of even an hour, a 2-hour slot, if they can't attend one of these schools, definitely try to get here. There's a huge amount of topics this year.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the one thing that I just, you know, looking through the schedule here with my dad, who's covering our AquaTraction booth today, so I got to give him a big shout out, big thank you for being here. But
Gotta go over and get a picture.
yeah, of course, he's got to go live on Facebook or something to show his friends, I think. But anyway, so
This is yours?
All the cats.
That's a good smart man right there. Didn't own him.
so I
He says, Craig, your dad, are you Craig's dad? And I go, is he in trouble?
Yeah. Most times he's probably in
probably in trouble. But I think, you know, there's enough going on, even if you don't and are not in the market to buy a boat, buy a ton of new equipment. There's a lot of cool guys in here talking about a lot of cool stuff. And I think if we can just learn from each other, you know, I want to sit on the salmon school just for now, just to see what, because I'm going to apply something that these guys can teach me about my trolling program, you know, and vice versa. The technology, you know, everything's constantly evolving and changing. So try to grasp as much as we can and learn from each other. You know, we're going to be students of the sport forever, right?
There was a guy, Lake Pat Comerford. He was probably one of the best on Lake Ontario. And my friend Brett was lucky enough to fish with him. And he said something. You can learn something from the worst angler on the lake. And if you have that mindset that you can always learn, you're only going to get better.
Mhm.
But when you think you know it all, you're done learning, pack it up. And, you know, and that's what's great about out here is, you know what? I do something different than you do, something different than you do. But you know what? You tweak what I do, and maybe it'll work for you. Like I'm putting a Thundercat in an atomic rig, and catching a king on Wilson this year.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Wasn't there a cartoon called the Thunder?
Thundercats.
Yeah, I thought.
Thundercats.
I
That's,
mean,
that's probably we've been watching too many cartoons and it's what's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there you go. The Eurypterid.
That's like.
Do you know what the New York State fossil is?
No.
Do you know the national, you know, like the national bird, and you know the New York State fossil is the Eurypterid, right?
No.
Okay. I've been at school too long today.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't need to fish. He's way smart. He shouldn't be a fisherman.
Right. That's why I teach art, not math.
All right, Captain Craig.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, bud.
Casey, thanks, man.